then, so no worries.
Cool.
All right. This is Jackie from In the Key of Change, and I'm here with Bayside in Baltimore. You guys have been a band for more than a minute.
Yeah.
14 years.
Mm-hmm.
What are your secrets to longevity?
Well, we certainly do whatever it's always took to do the next album, do the next tour. But also keep in mind that we got to stay true to who we are and what our fans like about us. And we've never really gone too far out of our comfort zone as far as songwriting or tours we've done, stuff like that. I mean, we really just always stayed true to ourselves and what we want to achieve with our band, and that's to be a band for as long as we possibly can. So 14 years later,
I think it's working so far.
Yeah, it's the best it's ever been, actually. So not only are we still around, but we're thriving. So it's cool. It's weird to start. I think we're all just starting to think that we've reached the next level of, all right, this is always going to be a thing, which is a good feeling, because I think for like our first 4 albums, we always wanted to kind of make it off of make it through the Victory Records years, and we wound up on A Killing Time was on Wind Up Records, and we felt like that was like a big turning point in our life. And now being on Hopeless, it's kind of like a culmination of Victory and Wind Up, a little bit of newness, and it's just breathing new, fresh, positive air into Bayside land, which is cool.
Job security is always good.
Yeah, that's something we've always worked for sure.
Especially in the music industry.
Yeah, so make sure the 4 of us are good to go, like there's a lot of things and concessions you have to make in the music industry just to put out albums, go on tour, stuff like that. So we've always done what we needed to do to kind of make ourselves happy, make our fans happy, make sure business is good. So.
Well, Colt is your recent release.
Mm-hmm.
How is that the next chapter after Killing Time?
I think we learned a lot about ourselves and our writing process with Killing Time, and having Gil Norton produce the last album. I think he taught us a lot about efficiency, and sometimes less is more, and we kind of felt like even though he wasn't involved in this process, I think we learned a lot from the Killing Time process. So it just seemed like a natural progression, and I think we became like more efficient writers with the batch of songs on Colt, and we're super comfortable with how we sound. We try to grow as much as we can, but within the bounds of what our sound is. And that adds to our longevity too, to go back to the first question. We've never made an album that's indulgent for ourselves. We've always questioned, will our fans like this? So that's why it's funny when we put out an album and people are like, oh, it sounds like Bayside, like as if that's bad. It's like, all right, if you don't like it, then you never liked it. That's fine, Not every thought you have needs to be written on the internet. Like, don't write things like that, because it comes off negative. But we're happy with who we are, and our fans are happy with who we are. So, when people, it also has the complete opposite. People say, oh, it sounds just like every other album. And then there are a handful of people who I think there might be a little bit more like finely tuned to our sound that know that it's different, It sounds like us for sure, but there's different things. There's different writing structure, like song structures, and the lyrics are a little bit more adult oriented, and yeah, I mean, there's differences for sure. It just depends on your level of fandom, I guess, with our band.
Well, speaking of, I guess, adultdom or growing,
yeah.
Are playing songs on Killing Time or even older albums catharsis? Or are they more difficult to sort of open up old wounds?
I think about for Anthony, it's got to be like singing lyrics every night, having your brain go through things, mentally, just thinking the lyrics and going through. I'm sure it's a gamut of things. I'm sure it's cathartic every night, and I'm sure there's some things he doesn't want to even think about anymore, but we have to because we have popular songs. I feel like physically and emotionally for me, I've been thinking about this a lot because we've been around for so long and we're playing like kind of a longer set on this headlining tour. Like playing a song like Montauk for the like 2000th time or something like that. It's not that it's not special because our fans love it still. They're not tired of it, but it's, I hate to like put like compare music to like having a desk job or something, but if you go to your desk job 2,000 times, it's, you know, you're gonna not feel the same way about it like you did, you know? So, I mean, I'm always somebody who wants to constantly like move forward in life individually and as our band, and you know, we have new albums and new songs and stuff like that, and I kind of always wanted to help the longevity of our band. We need people to like newer songs, so that's always something I bring up when we have a new album. And Killing Time was a big like point in our life for sure, where we knew we had to play a lot of those songs live, and people needed to know them, or we might be stuck with really just playing popular songs off of our second and third album for a while. And to me, that's somewhat of a kiss of death, just because we have a lot of songs that people like, and people get accustomed to hearing certain songs live. So I think we need, you know, when we breathe new songs into the set, I think it brings some excitement for the fans.
And your first single, The Time Has Come,
Mm-hmm.
You guys put out a lyric video and then an official video.
Yeah.
What are the benefits of doing both?
Well, the lyric video at least was a way for us to get the song out earlier, and lyric video, I'm not sure where that how over the years where that started. It became a popular thing that people like react to. I think they like to visually see the lyrics and don't have to sit there with like the booklet and learn the lyrics. So
Like we did back in
yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean that's something that's certainly, I think, for like a younger audience. I don't necessarily get the lyric video thing, and I think with the actual video for Time's Come, like we're barely in it, and that's another thing with like that's with how people watch videos now. It didn't seem that important to us to really rearrange our schedule pre album release to do a video that people are going to watch on their phones, you know? Like, that's just the you know, videos are really on their way, you know, to just being one of the least important parts of being in a band. So we really didn't want to, we would have had to bend over backwards a lot to be in that video a lot more, and it wasn't something that we thought was super important. You know, we've never had a video really impact our career at all, and it's very rare when any band does at this point. So we just didn't feel like, you know, a lot of us between January and February moved. Jack and Anthony moved to Nashville, Chris moved to Southern California. I still live in New York, but if we wanted to be in that video more, people would have had to flown different places, New York, Nashville, Southern California, wherever the filming was. Just seemed like it would be a lot of work for a little payoff, and we weren't really into that.
Well, the visual result is still really good.
Yeah, I mean, it would look the same, only we would be in it.
Well, speaking of visuals, you guys recently talked about the copyright issue in your logo.
Mm.
Do you have to go back and delete it from like old videos?
No, it was just an April Fool's joke.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You missed it. Yesterday it was an April Fool's joke. We're mean. That we knew that it was really, that was gonna hit home with a lot of people, but we were like, yeah.
What does the bird symbolize to you?
You know what, like I joined the band, and it was kind of, when I joined the band, it was kind of floating around as something. It was maybe on one shirt at that point, and it was in the booklet for Sirens and Condolences. And I mean, I can't like put into words what it means, but it's cool to have a symbol that people like could get tattooed on them. You know, it's a little the design of it is cool and it's like aesthetically pleasing, and I don't know. I'm glad, like, for some of my favorite bands, I'm glad I don't have to just go get, like, Bad Religion written on my arm, you know? I could go get a piece of art, you know? Like, so to me, it's just something that, like, visually is pleasing, that people, it's kind of like the same thing as, like, a country's flag or something. We have something that symbolizes who we are, you know? And it's just everything that you think about our band, whether it's, like, we've always been, like, transparent and honest and, like, tons of integrity and stuff. I mean, that's really what it means. It's just a symbol for us, which is cool.
And you mentioned tattoos. How did you react the first time a fan showed you a Bayside tattoo?
It's the greatest feeling because we all four of us have tattoos of bands we grew up with, and you know that feeling of, well, I got this Bouncing Souls tattoo because they mean the world to me. So when people say, oh, I know you heard it all the time, but I got this tattoo because you really helped me, I'm like, no, that never gets old. I love that. I have 3 Bad Religion tattoos, 2 Bouncing Souls tattoos, a Green Day tattoo, Alkaline Trio tattoo. Like, bands that mean the world to me are on my body, you know? Like, they've definitely shaped who I have become as a person. So when people have Bayside tattoos, and a lot of people do, it's always a great feeling.
Very cool. Where do you go to get your ink?
For a couple of years now, my friend Jenny Hughes in kind of southern New Jersey has done. She did my Bayside bird tattoo, was the first thing she did. And then she did my entire left arm sleeve. Yeah, I mean, exclusively her for about 5 years at this point.
Very cool. So after this tour, what's up next for Bayside?
The only 2 things we have booked after this tour ends in 3 days. We have about 8 days off, and we go to England and Europe with Alkaline Trio for a month. And then we have about 3 weeks off, and we do Warped Tour, the entire thing, which is, I want to say, like mid-June to early August. Yeah.
Not a whole lot of time off, but...
No, I think once we started this tour, we had 5 months booked basically with 1 month combined off, so it's cool. It's how we used to do things, kind of, when we were younger, but when you start to add international stuff, you kind of have to squeeze it in between the US stuff, so we knew we were doing this headliner and Warped Tour, and we did have time in between to fill, and the trio thing came up, so it was kind of a exciting no-brainer for us to do.
Very cool.
Yep.
Well, stay tuned for more from Bayside. Be sure to get their new album, Colt. This is Jackie with In the Key of Change. And I did know